Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today we're going to talk about who the narcissist marries. Who do you think the narcissist ends up marrying? Well, let me just start in the beginning by saying not all narcissists get married. Some actually never get married. But then you have narcissists that do get married, and I'm going to give you the reasons why they get married and who they marry, okay? First of all, let me just say this. If a narcissist gets married, generally, if they're going to get married to somebody, it's for some sort of benefit. Narcissists are not marrying someone for love because narcissists don't believe in love. Narcissists look at love, people that look at life as love and romance and all that. Narcissists don't believe in that because they don't trust anybody. So they would never, ever make themselves completely vulnerable and submit to somebody because they're afraid of getting hurt. So narcissists, if they're marrying somebody, there's a reason why they're marrying them. And I'm going to tell you who they marry and why. So narcissists are going to marry somebody generally who's going to make them look good. This could be, these are the ways narcissists can marry someone. They're either going to marry someone who makes them look good. It might be a younger person. It could be a trophy wife of some sort. Or if it's the other way, she can marry an established man, an older man. So they're going to marry somebody who makes them look good, makes their image look good in general, okay? But they could also marry somebody who is giving them everything they want, such as attention, doing everything for them. They could also marry somebody like that isn't necessarily making them look good, but is doing a lot for them, okay? So let's recap this. They're going to go for somebody who is good looking, all right? Again, that could be a trophy wife, or they're going to be looking for somebody who has money or status to make them look good. They want also someone they feel they can manipulate and control. Narcissists don't want to marry or will not marry somebody who is a strong person that's going to give them a lot of resistance because they know it's a recipe for disaster. Narcissists study you in the beginning to see what type of person you are. If you're, somebody with loose boundaries, if you're somebody who always gives the benefit of the doubt, they're generally going to go for people like that they can manipulate. They love vulnerable people who have a supply. That is ideal for the narcissist. Maybe it's somebody who recently got divorced and is vulnerable and has maybe a business or a home, all right? So they'll come in, they'll swoop in, they'll say, I'll help you with the kids. We'll do this. I'll help you with that. Let's build together. They love to say, let's build together. What they want to do is build off you because you already have an established business or you already have something that the narcissist doesn't. That's why I always say, when somebody comes on strong really fast, especially in the beginning, they're going to kill you with kindness, all right? Generally, people that kill you with kindness, over the top kindness, it's because you have something they really want, and the narcissist knows it, and they don't have what you have. So in order to compensate for their lack of whatever benefit they could offer you, they're going to give you plenty of attention, plenty of kindness, plenty of flattery to play on your emotions. This is what they want to do. They want to play on your emotions so that you really like them. And if you really like them and they're making you feel good, you're going to want to keep them in your life, regardless of where they're coming from, okay? Because they're probably coming from a place less than where you're coming from. And so you're a come up for that narcissist. So of course that narcissist is going to be extremely nice to you. All right. Till they get you. Once they get you, you're going to see a change. All right. And that may be why they rush to get married. That might be why they rush to get you pregnant. Because maybe they want to move into your house. They get you pregnant. Boom, they can move right into your house. Or if they get pregnant with you, it's a lot harder for you to just walk away, okay? It's a lot harder for you to just walk away. This is how they trap people. So They want someone also who's going to take care of them and be like a mommy or daddy figure to them. And that means taking all the responsibilities. Maybe you're doing all the cleaning, you're setting up the house, you're doing all the cooking, and they're going to reap the benefits of that, all right? You're doing everything in the home. You're providing a home for that narcissist, and that narcissist is benefiting from it. So, they're going to love that. They're going to love somebody who's caring, somebody who's nurturing, because a lot of them have mommy and daddy issues, all right? They also want somebody who's going to raise their kids so that they could be free. And this is what a lot of narcissists will do. When they break up with somebody, and let's say they have kids, let's say they went through a divorce, or even if they didn't have a divorce, they have kids with their exes. They like to find supply that will raise their kids. So they're going to pick somebody who maybe, they could bring their kids over for visitation, and that person is going to cook for their kids, parent their kids, take care of their kids, and take away all the responsibility from the narcissist. They're going to put it on the new supply, and now the narcissist is going to be free to be able to go out and have a good time for themselves. They may even leave the new supply with their kids, and it frees them up to go out and have a good time. They'll gaslight and say, oh, they're working, they're going to their friend's house, they're going to their homeboy's house, homegirl's house, or whatever it is, and leave the responsibility of the children that they had with somebody else on you, all right? And again, they're also going to marry people who may have money or status, okay? And you could see this a lot in the business world. You could see this a lot where, in the professional arena, a lot of people that get marry people that may be on their level because of their image and their status. I saw it years ago. I worked in investment banking. And I worked for a very prominent investment banker whose father is a very big time old Hollywood celebrity. And he had a girlfriend for a couple of years, real nice girl, pretty girl, but he wouldn't marry her. Okay? And he basically was using her, breadcrumbing her, and then he left her for a prominent scientist woman. Okay, he discarded his girlfriend that he had for 4 or 5 years, and he left her for a prominent scientist woman because of his image, all right? Because it made him look good, especially around his other banker friends and, different events that they had. This is my wife, so-and-so, she's a famous scientist and this and that. This is somebody that he would marry for his status, for his image, okay? Because his last girlfriend, they got along great and everything, but he just wasn't he just wouldn't marry her. But he was keeping her around for years, all right? Next thing that I want to bring up, narcissists, they also want somebody that they can boss around, all right? That's why they generally want to be the captain of the ship in a marriage. They want to call the shots either overtly or covertly by controlling that person with silence or by ignoring them or lack of attention. But they need somebody that they can control, all right? The other thing too, narcissists will generally marry people that they have a history with sometimes, so that they don't have to put the work in, all right? That's why a lot of times they may bounce back to their exes because they have a history with them. They know them inside out. That's why a narcissist could be married, end up, getting caught cheating, as an example, go out, get a new supply, all right? Get involved with the new supply, and then leave the new supply, hoover back their exes and go back with their exes because they're comfortable with their exes a lot of times because it's, they have a history with them. And a lot of times their exes may have their children, all right? So it also gives them access to be able to see their children and be around their children, all right? So they want someone who brings something to the table, money, status. They want somebody who looks good, or they want somebody who is basically kissing their ass, all right? Somebody who's giving them a lot of attention. That's why also the new supply may not be somebody better than you, but it could be somebody who is doing everything for the narcissist, okay? Where you didn't do something for them, that person could be doing everything for them, all right? Now, moving along, who narcissists will marry. They will also marry someone their family approves of. Narcissists, most times, are concerned about approval and validation from their families, who 9 times out of 10 are toxic opportunists like them, all right? And their families also may want the narcissist to, have a come up, all right? So the narcissist is going to want to bring someone around their family or want to marry someone that their family generally approves of, okay? And their family is going to approve of somebody that could offer something to the narcissist, and in some case be offering something to the family as well, all right? Let's say the narcissist marries somebody with money. That could be benefiting the narcissist family if the narcissist is giving their family money because they're in a good financial situation now, all right? You see this a lot with cases like green cards, 90 Day Fiancé, all right? Those shows that show like where people get involved with somebody out of the country and they want the approval of their family. What they do is they may even introduce you to their family to try to fool you, get involved with you. They're marrying you a lot of times for a green card, and it's all to benefit their family. They maybe want to get a green card, then bring their family over, then give their family money or send family back to the homeland. This happens all the time. That's why don't touch those type of relationships with a 10-foot pole, okay? Because those are the biggest love bombers. Somebody who has something really big to get, all right? A green card is a big supply, all right, to somebody that may be coming from a third world country. So they're going to want to get their family approval, all right? They're also going to want somebody who's going to raise their kids. They want somebody also that they can isolate and doesn't have a lot of friends and family support, all right? That's why they love vulnerable people. A lot of vulnerable people are vulnerable because they don't have the support system that others have. Maybe they don't talk to their family. Maybe they're alone, they're isolated, all right? And the narcissist loves that because that is the person that will be dependent on the narcissist and go out of their way for the narcissist in order to make them happy. And the narcissist figures that they could use that person to the full capacity because that vulnerable person needs the narcissist, all right? So they don't generally like to go after people that have a strong support system because then it's hard to make them codependent on them because there's all these outside people, telling the person, listen, the narcissist is, they're a manipulator, they're corrupt, this and that. And this is why narcissists try to isolate people from their family and friends if they do have family and friends. They'll say things like, oh, your family's not really there for you, or, your friend, that person is not a friend to you. They should be doing more to you. They will manipulate you so that you don't like these people and you won't want to be around them. Now the narcissist has you to themselves, and now they can manipulate you to the full benefit, all right? So here's the thing, you guys. Some narcissists do get married. And to recap in all of this, if they do get married, it's for a big benefit usually. It's not for love, okay? If a narcissist wants to marry you, it's because you either really look good or you're a very young supply, or you could be an older supply with money, all right? That could be an older man with a younger woman, and she's the narcissist trying to manipulate him for money, all right? She wants to get married fast. Or it could just be a person who is doing everything for the narcissist, providing a home, cooking, cleaning, doing their laundry, being a therapist, being a mommy to that narcissist, nurturing that narcissist. And that could be a reason why they marry them. But if they do marry these people, what you got to keep in mind is, like, people say, well, why do narcissists get married? Well, they get married for the benefits, all right? For their image, for the benefits of maybe having children and having somebody else raise the children. The narcissist wants it all. They want the family life where somebody's cooking, cleaning for them, doing everything for them, paying into the bills. When they get married too, it helps them financially. Maybe now they can live in a house. There's 2 salaries coming in. They could pull their money and live in a house now rather than just live in an apartment. They have somebody who's raising their kids, okay? But they're the ones who are also living that secret life on the side. So they're going to want somebody that they could fool, or that doesn't have strong boundaries, like where you going, what are you doing, where were you, how come, and tracking them. They don't want somebody who's tracking them. They generally will not want to marry somebody who's tracking them. They want to marry somebody who's going to give them their freedom so that they can have that secret life, all right? So just because a narcissist gets married, they don't stop what they're doing. That's why I said the finish line is not marriage. There is no finish line for the narcissist because they constantly need that dopamine rush, the excitement of new people, new supply, new excitement, sex with somebody new, excitement, sneaking around. They love deception too, all right? So they don't care. They don't care. Marriage doesn't mean the same to a narcissist as it does to someone else who's monogamous. It doesn't mean the same, all right? So narcissists also when they marry somebody, they want to marry somebody who they feel is a monogamous person. They generally don't want to marry someone who's like them too much, okay? Because then it's going to cause a huge conflict. And you could have conflicts. Marriages can last between 2 narcissists if they're both benefiting off the marriage. It does happen, okay? And some marriages between narcissists do stay married because of the benefits, all right? And the benefits could be maybe living in a nice house, all right? But each one does what they want, all right? It could be, the benefits could be because they have a common enemy and they align together against common enemies. All right. They back each other. So if the narcissist is getting benefits, they're going to stay. They're going to stay. All right. And that's why most of the time it's you who has to kick out the narcissist, because the narcissist, if they could have their cake and eat it, they're going to. Why are they going to leave their home, have to pay out child support, have to take their kids every other weekend if they could have their home life and also have their single life? They don't want to leave. That's why a lot of narcissists, when they get caught doing their dirty deeds, they'll say, oh, I'll go to therapy if you want. I'll do this. All of a sudden, they want to do all these kind of things to fool you, like, oh, they're going to change, or, oh, they want to save the marriage. They're just manipulating you so that you don't divorce them. And then they figure they're just going to manipulate you better, okay? They'll figure a way to manipulate you better to get out and do what they got to do to live that single secret life, all right? So this is what it is, you guys. Narcissists are going to marry people that make them look good. They're going to marry people that have money and status. Or they're going to marry somebody who is a lapdog that does everything for them. I mean, and they feel like, they're getting all these benefits because this person is doing everything for them. Like I said before, cooking, cleaning, laundry, raising the kids. They have somebody providing a home for the narcissist, doing everything for them, and it gives them, the home life as well as being able to have their single life. They will marry somebody who they feel is a good parent to raise their kids, all right? Because narcissists hate parenting. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of responsibility. And people who have been through this know what it is. People who have had kids with a narcissist understand this better than anybody. Nobody would understand being married to a narcissist or having kids with a narcissist and co-parenting more than somebody who has been through it. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact, all right? So, this is why they get married, for the benefits, and they want people that they'll marry people that make them look good, all right? Now, one other thing I want to bring up. Narcissists could be single their whole life, and they could get married later on, all right? And if they do get married and it's not for the image or the money or something like that, it's because now you got a desperate narcissist that needs to lock in somebody so that they're not alone, okay? That could happen. You have narcissists that'll never get married ever, and you have a narcissist that do get married and some that do get married later on because they know that they have they're older, they may be sick, especially if a narcissist is sick. They're going to want to lock in a supply so that they have somebody to take care of them and be a caregiver to them. So watch out for that. Their whole life they were out having a good time for themselves. Now they're older, now they're sick, and now they're going to try to lock in a supply, maybe marry a supply so that they have somebody who's a caregiver to them, all right? That's what some narcissists will do, all right? So that's who the narcissists generally marry. I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. Check out my YouTube at the Game Exposed podcast, almost 7,000 videos. Facebook is the Game EXP123. Instagram is the Game EXP123. And TikTok is the Game Exposed. And have a great day.